Hey guys, sorry, I'll be there in just a second. Can you guys believe that we're already on the 10th episode? Isn't that exciting? Alright, I'm coming. Hello everyone, I'm your host Beardo, and you are watching the 10th episode of MINUTIA MINUTE, which means we're on double digits now. It's kind of exciting. I've got a huge episode for you guys today. Since it's the 10th one, I figured we'd do a little bit of extra stuff. So, I have not one, but 2 bags of comics. First of all, we've got our Wednesday comics here, which I'm excited to review with you guys. And then this other mystery bag is some books I got from Half Price Books, and they're all really cheap. Kind of took a risk, don't know what a lot of them are, so I'm excited just to show you guys what these are, and if you guys know anything about them, please comment below, let me know what I'm getting into. Really excited to read these as well. And then, after all my comic book traverses yesterday, I got home, and this was waiting for me. I'm really excited for you guys to see what's in this package. So for our Minutia morsel, I'm going to have my first ever eBay unboxing, which will be very fun. I'm excited for that. So, without further ado, let's get started right away with the Wednesday comics. Okay, I got 4 books this week, and they were all fantastic. I'm really excited to share with you guys what I got. If you're not getting them already, there's not a single one of the bunch that I don't recommend. So to kick things off, we've got Demon Knights issue 3. Now, Demon Knights has been a really solid title since it started. It's a lot of fun. If you're into medieval things and magic and mages, you're gonna enjoy this book. You really should be picking it up. This issue, things kind of toned down. The first couple issues were a lot of fighting, a lot of action. This one, they reel it in a little bit, and you kind of get to know the characters a little bit better, which is really good. You find an interesting tidbit about Etrigan and Jason Blood and how their powers work that I didn't know. I don't know if it's new, so I don't want to spoil it, but it's new to me at least. One of the great things about this story to me is basically, I mean, the general gist of it is, after all of these attacks that they've been warding off, now they have this moment to kind of regroup, and they're going to start training the villagers to fight for themselves against the oncoming onslaught, which reminds me a lot of one of my favorite movies, Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai. Basically, if you haven't seen this movie, I really recommend it. It was made in 1954, black and white Japanese samurai movie. And the premise is basically these villagers who are being tormented by bandits put all their money together and purchase the help of 7 samurai to protect their village from the bandits. 7 is all they could afford, but it's not nearly enough to actually protect the village. So the samurai train the villagers how to fight for themselves, and then at the end you have the big confrontation. So painting Demon Knights in the light of 7 Samurai is a huge win for me. I mean, it's clearly an homage to the 7 Samurai, Magnificent 7 tradition, and I just got nothing bad to say about it. One of the things that's great about it is, you know, if you think about the characters in 7 Samurai and start drawing parallels with Demon Knights, the best part is that Toshiro Mifune's character in 7 Samurai, who is he's not a samurai, he's just sort of this crazy, off-the-wall wannabe, basically the comic relief, but he's also a very dramatic character at the same time, and he is totally Vandal Savage in Demon Knights, which, that's just a stroke of brilliance. I mean, that's fantastic. So, anyway, if you're not reading it, you should be, because you're going to like the story. Artistically, I got no complaints with this book. There's a lot of good detail. It's pretty realistic, but still has a very good comic book feel. I feel like a lot of medieval books that I leaf through are either so far artistically experimental that they're that they kind of take the fun out of reading a medieval book, or they're so far sort of flat and uninterestingly illustrated in sort of a really traditional way, sort of like a Golden Books kind of a way, that it's just really boring and flat and not fun to read. This book doesn't fall into any of those traps. One of the real wins for the art in this is actually, has to be the coloring. You get a lot of earthy tones, you can kind of see there, that makes the book almost monochromatic at times, but it's not. It's just the world that they live in, and it's very realistic. It grounds the book, which is good. It grounds it in a way that you wouldn't expect from a book about magic and mages and wizards and, you know. So anyway, fantastic art, fantastic read. I definitely recommend Demon Knights. Okay, next up, we have Batwoman issue 3. And what can I say? This book can do no wrong. Artistically, as always, it completely knocks it out of the park, but let me tell you, this issue, more than the last issues, knocks it out of the park, which is saying a lot. I mean, the art's always been consistently fantastic, but they just keep finding new ways to better themselves. And I mean, I'm not going to spoil the art, but I'll just kind of tell you, I mean, you open it up and you got a great opening splash page. You turn the page not once, twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, not 5 times, but 6 times. And you have 6 2-page spreads in a row. Wow. I mean, those of you who are familiar with this book know how much of a godsend that is. And I mean, there's no advertisements interrupting it. It's just solid art. 2-page spreads, 6 in a row. I mean, it's fantastic. Now, the book picks up right where the last book left off, with her sort of being pulled underwater. And the way these 2-page spreads are laid out, you really get the feel of being pulled under in the current with her. It really is a moment where form meets function. So, fantastic. Great book. Another thing that's worth noting artistically, and I don't want to spoil this either, but watch for the moment, and you'll know what I'm talking about when you see this. Watch for the moment where Batwoman's world collides with Kate Kane's world, and how that's realized artistically is so counterintuitive, but so totally works. So look forward to that. Look forward to reading Batwoman, because it's one of the best titles of the week. Again, there wasn't a single bad title out there. Okay, so moving on. The next book I have, we're going to break it up a little bit and review a Marvel title. All New Spider-Man issue 4. Now, this book was incredibly solid. I was kind of expecting to kind of start to wean off this book, just because we're getting into sort of the greater Marvel universe. I was really enjoying just sticking with the characters, just Miles Morales and his small group. And since I'm not really a Marvel reader, sort of blowing it up into the big Marvel picture wasn't really appealing to me. But I find myself more invested in this book than I was before. Story highlights. We get to go into the end of the old Ultimate series in the new Ultimate series, much in the same way that Back to the Future Part 2 goes into Back to the Future Part 1, which is just a stroke of brilliance, not only just sort of a fun, clever writing kind of a way, but the parallel that's drawn between Peter Parker witnessing Uncle Ben's death and Miles Morales witnessing Peter Parker's death, and how each of those characters viewed that moment in their life, really sets up a really great parallel, a great juxtaposition of the two characters. So really solid writing from Bendis, fantastic. A decent enough cliffhanger as a non-Marvel reader. It was still pretty cool. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about just sort of the way that they're developing this character. I'm a big fan of Kick-Ass, and I know some of you guys out there really don't care about it because it's sort of got a lot of gratuitous violence and gore and things of that nature. That's unnecessary. And you're not necessarily wrong about that. I really don't disagree with you. I still love it. If you want Kick-Ass without those gratuitous things, this is definitely the book for you. The way they sort of build up Miles Morales and how he's slowly becoming the new Spider-Man and how that's realized throughout the several issues reminds me actually a lot of Kick-Ass and sort of the joy of just sort of a kid dressing up, which is what I love the most about Kick-Ass, and you totally get that feeling in the all-new Spider-Man. So really, really recommend this book. It's fantastic. I do want to talk a little bit about the cover. This is a cool cover, but it's just a pinup, and I'm kind of tired of it. I mean, we've gotten the same cover 4 times now. I mean, issue 1, Spider-Man looking cool. Issue 2, Spider-Man looking cool. Issue 3, Spider-Man looking cool. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But I mean, there's so many great plot moments that you could totally make into great, great covers in these issues without just sort of showing off the new costume that we haven't even seen yet. You know what I mean? That's one of my problems with like Spawn. A lot of Spawn covers are just sort of pin-ups of either Spawn or the Violator. You know what I mean? And I feel like they're falling into that trap with Spider-Man. Not really a fan of the covers. And actually, since we're talking about covers, I did forget to talk about the Demon Knights cover. Now, as I said, the art in Demon Knights is really, you know, fantastic, but you wouldn't know it from the cover of the book. The cover is not my favorite. Illustrated by my good friend Tony Daniel, who we all know that I love. And I guess that I don't mind each cover individually, but when you put them together, I mean, it's all Etrigan in the center with his teeth bared and, you know, looking ready, like looking out for blood, you know what I mean? And it's just a little too Hawk of Hawk and Dove particularly, you know, I mean, it's just, we get other expressions in the book. Can't we have other expressions on the outside? I mean, obviously, you know, gritting your teeth is a staple of comic books, but, you know, let's have some variety, guys. Why don't you use the interior artist for this? That's what I don't understand is, I mean, the interior art is so much better than what Tony Daniel does. So, anyway, if you're not liking the covers of Demon Knights, open up the book because it's a totally different story. Anyway, okay, back on with the review. So we've done Demon Knights, Batwoman, and we've done All-Star Spider-Man issue 4. Oh, you know, one more thing I forgot to say about All-Star Spider-Man 4. In addition to the great moment with Peter Parker, you do get some really, really great sort of breaking the fourth wall moments in this book, so watch out for those. Okay, I don't want to spoil them, otherwise I'd love to tell you, but I'm not going to. Okay, last comic book of the Wednesday comics that I picked up yesterday. Green Lantern, issue 3. Now, this was probably my favorite book out of all the ones I read. I think Spider-Man was probably a better issue, but this one, for people who are, you know, already deep in the mythology of Green Lantern right now, this book delivers in every way. I'm kind of surprised because, I mean, if you look at issues 1 through 3, I mean, really, they could easily fit into 2 issues, and the way Jeff Johns sort of extends it out normally might bother me because it's unnecessary, but he is so good at writing Sinestro and so good at writing the way Sinestro and Hal interrelate that you don't want it to end. You want him to decompress the story as much as he can because you're just reveling in it. So I have no complaints there, although I can see where that might be a problem for some people. One of the great things that you see in this book is you get a little bit more from Sinestro in terms of his character and sort of what he's prepared to do. One of the great moments is when Hal Jordan, you know, they're planning an attack, and Hal Jordan, or Sinestro has a plan in place that must have been in place a long time ago, because there are certain elements that they're going to be utilizing to implement the plan. And Hal Jordan's like, you've planned for this eventuality for how long? And it's just a great Batman moment. Sinestro in this book reminds me so much of Batman. He's 5 steps ahead all the time. And I know that Batman is sort of, he strikes fear without the yellow ring, especially sort of the way Jeff Johns has kind of realized these characters. And since, Hal and Batman are sort of always very much opposed character-wise when Jeff Johns writes them, it makes sense that Sinestro kind of fills the Batman role when you put Hal and Sinestro together. So really, really great writing on Jeff Johns' part there. It was really, really fun seeing, it's interesting to think about what Batman could be like if he had been a Green Lantern. Maybe he would have been more like Sinestro than maybe us Batman fans would like to admit. So anyway, that was fantastic. Let's see. The end of the issue, I'm not going to spoil, but wow, what an ending. I'm looking at it right now, and I've got questions. And you will too. This is one of the best cliffhangers out of all of the new 52 books so far, even though they're not new anymore. We're on issue 3. I'm just going to ask one question. For those of you guys who've read it, is this going to give the yellow rings a green impurity in the same way that Parallax gives the green rings a yellow impurity? I don't know. Is that what Sinestro's got planned? Is that how Sinestro is going to win the day? I can't wait to find out. I really wish I could read the next issue right now. Unfortunately, it's another 30 days away. So I'm going to just put this down and try and relax. Okay, so those are the Wednesday comics. Like I said, they were all fantastic. I really recommend every single one. So for the next bag, my mystery comics that I got from Half Price Books. All of these were between 75 cents and $2, so I didn't take too many big risks. But I'm excited to see what they were. I mean, some of these are going to be definitely fun. Some of them are either going to be really good or really bad. So, like I said, if you guys know anything about these books already, let me know what I'm getting into, because I'm curious. Okay, the first issue I picked up was Superman issue 417 from the original series. The reason I picked this book up is because I'm an Edgar Rice Burroughs fan. I like John Carter of Mars, and this is totally looks like that. Hopefully the interior pays off like the exterior does. And I mean, Superman just shines when, he's in weird situations like this. So I'm really excited to read that one. Next up, this I picked up mostly because I didn't really know that he had his own series for a while. So again, enlighten me if you know about this. It's another one that's definitely going to be either really good or really bad. It is the first issue of Man-Bat. I mean, I like Man-Bat, so hopefully it'll be fun. I also did pick up issue 2. Not a big fan of the covers of Man-Bat. Hopefully the interior art is better. Okay. Next, I got an Elseworlds. This is book 2 of 2. I don't have 1 of 2, so it may be a while before I get around to reading this. Have to track down book 1. Dark Knight of the Round Table. That looks like a blast. I'm really excited for that one. Okay. Alright, next up. This one is another title that I didn't know existed. But it looks like fun. It's DC's Wanted. It's the world's most dangerous villains, so it basically focuses on DC villains. This is issue 4. It focuses on Solomon Grundy, who is wanted for tossing Green Lantern to a thundering finish, and then also Masterman, who raised the devil to destroy Kid Eternity. So anyway, that looks like fun. It looks like sort of evil, brave, and the bold. Don't know if they actually team up in this or if they're just separate stories, but it looks like fun. I think it's going to be fun. Okay, and last but not least, this one was one I saw and I knew I had to have it. I have the t-shirt version of this. It's a Milestone issue. I've never read it. Not Milestone the company, but a Milestone of the character. And I'm just really excited Superman issue 300, also from the original series. So that's what I picked up from Half Price Books, which basically concludes our Minutia Minute. Next we'll have our Minutia Morsel, but I'm going to do that in a separate video because I know we're running a little bit long. So I hope you guys liked what I picked up. Let me know what you thought below. If you know anything about these odds and ends that I got, please comment on those as well. I'm really excited to read those. Might have some more to tell you about those later. But for now, I'll be right back with our Minutia Morsel, which will conclude our 10th ever episode of Minutia Minute. See ya!